In tonight's headlines, workers race against the clock to repair the only road in and out of Clearwater Bay, one day after downpours trigger landslide in the region. The Cheung Chau Bun Festival will go ahead as planned next week, after strong winds topple a scaffolding housing the iconic Bun Towers.
Torrential rain lashed Hong Kong yesterday, with certain districts such as Sai Kung receiving hundreds of millimeters of rainfall in just a few hours. That triggered landslides in hilly regions, including Clearwater Bay Road. Traffic in both directions had to share a single lane at this section near Ng Fai Tin, as emergency works were underway to reinforce the slope which collapsed yesterday. Soil measuring an area of 30 meters by 45 meters was washed away by floods, causing underground pipes underneath the pavement to be exposed. Workers were seen spraying concrete this afternoon in a bid to temporarily strengthen the slope. Transport Minister Lam Sai Hong was at the scene to inspect the progress.
The
road is expected to fully reopen before the morning rush tomorrow, he said. Lam reassured the public that the road would only reopen after passing safety checks. He added pumps have been installed to drain excessive water in case of more rainstorms, while permanent reinforcement works will commence later. District Councillor Lau Kai Hong welcomed the move, saying that landslides were not common in the area. He revealed 3 households had to evacuate yesterday, indicating the severity of the storm. Janice Low, Cable News.
It's Sunday, but there was no time to relax for scaffolders who were summoned to Cheung Chau for emergency repairs. They were busy constructing a giant bamboo scaffolding after the structure, measuring 40 meters in height, collapsed under strong winds yesterday. While no one was injured, the freak accident raised questions whether the Bun Festival could go ahead as planned next Wednesday. The scaffolding houses 3 Bun Towers, which form the centerpiece of the festival, meant to bring peace and stability to the island. Yong Chi Ming, head of the organizing committee, said he had never seen the scaffolding torn down by strong winds. He later revealed that repairs were going smoothly and could be completed as soon as the end of the day. As the skies cleared up after days of rain, families showed up today to soak up the festive atmosphere. A 14-meter-high tower built for the bun scrambling competition next week was opened to those who wanted to get a taste of the thrilling experience. Andrew, who came with his family, said he was glad the carnival went ahead after the event was cancelled last year due to inclement weather. His father said they were eager to let his son learn more about traditional Chinese culture. But restaurant owners revealed business was still down by 40% over the weekend as holiday makers stayed indoors. With the observatory expecting the sun to return in the next few days, businesses are hoping for better luck at the annual festival, which kicks off on Buddha's birthday next week. Janice Yu, Cable News.
Hong Kong has rolled out the red carpet for over 670,000 mainland visitors on the first 4 days of the Labor Day Golden Week. That marked a 31% improvement from the same period last year, and authorities believe the unsettled weather in the region over the past week had weighed on the numbers. But Tourism Secretary Kevin Yeung tried to put a positive spin to the situation on radio this morning. There is still 1 more day to go, so Hong Kong is still on track to welcome 800,000 mainland travelers across Golden Week, he said, citing the target set by the tourism board earlier. The tourists will bring an estimated $2 billion of business receipts, the minister added. Yeung also defended the fireworks display on Wednesday, which was described by many as a flop after a thick cloud of smoke blanketed visibility from both sides of the harbour. The tourism chief blamed the unfavourable wind conditions that evening, but pledged to better manage people's expectations next time. Apart from individual travellers, Hong Kong also received 560 tour groups as of yesterday morning. That was more than 80% of original estimates, but some businesses at tourist districts complained sales were way down compared to pre-COVID levels. Young explained that travelers these days may head to other districts for an authentic experience of Hong Kong. The phenomenon has seen tourists throng the streets of residential neighborhoods such as Sham Shui Po or Sheung Wan and learn about their history. The minister said more will be done to promote what he called in-depth local tourism. Janice Low, Cable News.
A 16-year-old boy has been shot dead by police in the Western Australian city of Perth after he stabbed someone in a car park before rushing at officers. The teenager had called police late last night, saying he was going to commit acts of violence before hanging up the phone.
Some minutes later, police received another 000 call from a person stating that a male with a knife was running around a car park. 3 officers attended that location within 3 minutes of that call. They exited their vehicle and were confronted with a male, alone, with a large kitchen knife. 2 officers drew their tasers and one of the officers drew his firearm. They challenged the male to put down the knife, which he did not comply. I have watched the body worn. He rushed one of the officers who was holding a taser, and the taser was deployed. A second taser was also deployed. Both of them didn't have the full desired effect, and the male continued to advance on the third officer with the firearm, who fired a single shot and fatally wounded the male.
The man who was stabbed was transported to hospital, where he remains in a serious but stable condition. Authorities later confirmed the boy, a Caucasian who had converted to Islam, had been known to police. He had mental health issues and was enrolled in a program to treat radical behavior.
There are indications he had been radicalised online, but I want to reassure the community. At this stage, it appears that he acted solely and alone. Members of the WA Muslim community who were concerned by his behaviour contacted police prior to the incident, and I thank them for their help.
While yoga has swept the world by storm, the trend is mostly confined to young people keen to stay in shape. But for this group of middle-aged men in Australia, practicing yoga is more about meditation and mindfulness than simply breaking a sweat. It may be the last pastime you could imagine for the miners who work in a remote area of Queensland. But it could just be the perfect activity for the men who spend long hours underground, often in isolated settings. Trade groups have been alarmed by the suicide rates within the mining and construction industry, which are 80% higher than the general population.
Look, if you are struggling, reach out, get some help. Don't be shy, nothing to be ashamed of. It's the same as having a cold. Just do it.
Shane Butler works as an underground mine operator 7 days every fortnight. The 42-year-old used to suffer from anxiety issues ahead of his 12-hour shifts. He eventually turned to yoga for help 5 years ago.
Something I felt a little bit nervous about coming, but as soon as I came, I was happy and addicted.
Now a yoga instructor, Butler hopes to share his spiritual journey with fellow miners and smash the stigma associated with men getting help for mental health problems. So far, the feedback has been nothing but positive.
Probably speak about it at work, yeah. Try and encourage others.
We were laughing, and as soon as we all came in here, it was good. Good atmosphere.
I'm very unfit and very inflexible. But it's something that I really am keen to work on.
The majority of people are quite quiet about it, but then at the end of it, they're relaxed, they're smiling, and you can tell that the penny's dropped and something's changed. And
Janice Yu, Cable News.